Okay, so today I want to talk about something which I've been contemplating and kind of putting the picture together in my own head for the last few months, really. Well, even further than that, to be honest. And it's something which I call the Will Smith effect.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it many a time, haven't we, recently?
Yeah, it was definitely been taking shape for a long time in your mind. So,
yeah. Well, it's
why? How did it start?
So, essentially, the topic of comparison comes up a lot, about comparing yourself to others. And if you've listened to any of the episodes that we've done, but not just that, the kind of mindfulness movement that's happening right now, it's common knowledge that comparing yourself to others is a negative. It's not going to do you any good. Instead, you should think about yourself, etc., etc. Yeah, and we've talked about it at length. And so the Will Smith effect for me, so I really like Will Smith, first of all, to caveat this.
Who doesn't?
I really like Will Smith
Yeah.
and obviously like his movies. But if Will Smith released a blockbuster hit next week, would I feel in any way, shape or form bitter about his achievement?
Probably not.
And the answer is, of course, no. And the reason why the answer is no is because I don't compare myself to Will Smith. And I don't compare myself to Will Smith because I see him as almost on this kind of level, a very unique minority level, where he's a fantastic actor. He's done, amazing for himself, and I'm a big fan of his. But I don't see any of his successes as detrimental to myself. Now that's I imagine most people listening would also agree with that statement, unless they want to be the next Will Smith. However, it just got me thinking about, why is it then, if that's the case, if someone this big, earning that much money, that much fame, if I don't compare myself to him, who do I obviously compare myself to? And the answer is, naturally, the people around you.
Yeah.
It's the people that are similar age to you, went to school with you potentially. They're the same kind of demographic. That tends to be the people that we compare ourselves with, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the whole kind of premise of the Will Smith effect is that if I don't compare myself to Will Smith and he's an absolute pinnacle of achievement, then why would I compare myself to the people around me? For example, if a friend of mine gets something that I would like, and that means I compare myself to them in a negative way, well, then there's someone above them, and there's someone above them, and there's someone above them, and right at the top of the tree, there's Will Smith.
I think you're holding him in a really high regard.
I'm just using him.
Do you want to interview Will Smith?
Yeah, Will Smith, if you're listening. No, he's not even, he's the first guy that came to mind as I'm kind of putting this together. But it just doesn't make sense, does it, when you think about it like that? Because why would I be so envious of this person who's got this tiny thing that I'd like, when there's other people that have got 1,000,000 times more than them, and I'm not envious of them, Yeah.
It's like a weird blend or like blur that you cross over when you go from being envious to inspired.
Yeah.
Which is quite interesting.
What
So
do you think
let those people around you who you perceive to be a level above, a level below, inspire you, because you have no idea what's going on in their life, in their head, in their relationships, in their bank, in anything,
Well, that's the thing. So the reason I said at the start that have been trying to put this picture together is because, like I said, it's quite conventional now that we understand that, it doesn't cause you any good to be comparing yourself to others if you feel that in a negative way. Competition is good, but not if it kind of affects you anything but positive. And so essentially the realization is that what someone else has or does, whether that be someone close to you or someone all the way up the tree like Will Smith, has absolutely no relevance to your personal situation. And so that alone is quite a powerful realization that can help to just break away from actually comparing, because I think we know the wisdom, but I think it's hard to do that. You know, you could easily say, oh, I'm gonna do me. I'm not gonna compare myself. But in the moment, you know, it's quite natural, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a primal instinct. It's a very natural instinct to have this kind of comparison. And so this is really just to try and kind of reframe that.
So what do you mean, like, delving into it has no impact on you? Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, what they do. I mean, you don't know how they've got to what they've got to. And also, you never know the full picture. So I think you can so easily look at someone else that may have achieved something that you want to do, or have something that you want to have, but you don't know the full picture. You don't know what the sacrifices they've had to do to get that. All you do is see their best side.
Yeah.
You know, you just see that best element and you go, oh, I want some of that. And part of why we started this podcast is to get to meet people and kind of dig deeper and understand what it took to get to those types of things, so that we personally can learn, and also we can share that with you guys that are listening. Because I think there's so much showing of people's best side that there's a completely untold story of the struggles, the challenges that people face to even get there. So that
whole comparison thing, like, it totally plays tricks with your mind, doesn't it? Like, because then you start looking at yourself and, why haven't I done that, and why haven't I done this, and why don't I look like that? And then I think that changes your behavior to people around you, and then you strive in a different direction. You know, you maybe start posting things on social that you wouldn't normally do, and it's all to prove a point that's completely made up in your own mind.
100%.
So the whole thing, it's just a vicious cycle of negativity that is actually completely made up. Exactly.
And that's why I've just been trying to actually understand and reframe how you can break free from that. And then this concept of the Will Smith effect just kind of surfaced. And as I'll say it again, if someone as big as Will Smith is doing things that you're not envious of, then why on earth does it make sense for you to be envious of someone who has a lot less than Will Smith, but just happens to be closer to you? Just before you head off, we want your feedback. You can obviously leave us a review on iTunes if you like, or you can find us. We're very active on LinkedIn. Just search Ross Menghini or Lucy Menghini. On our website, lifedesigndiaries.com. We're also active on Twitter @LifeDesignPod, or find us on Instagram @LifeDesignDiaries.